Welcome back to our channel, where we take you on a journey through the Bible and explore stories from the revelation of God's Word. I know you're already guessing which Bible character we are drawing lessons from today. Don't think too much. Join us as we embark on today's story that translates God's wisdom into our daily living. I would like to tell you a story which is titled The Right Tools for Your Journey. And I'll be using a young man named Jamal to illustrate my story. Jamal had always been a determined young man. Growing up in a small town, he had big dreams of starting his own business. He wanted to teach people about baking and pastries. This was his passion. He also dreamt of becoming a big man and opening a bakery. Not just any bakery, but one where he could create unique flavors that reminded people of home. He had learned the basics of baking from his grandmother, who used to let him knead dough and sprinkle sugars on cookies when he was just a kid. Her simple recipes and the joy they brought to their neighbors inspired him. But Jamal's dream wasn't exactly popular among his friends. Most of them had plans to move to big cities and get corporate jobs, such as working in banks, becoming pilots, medical doctors, or IT gurus. They wanted to climb the career ladder. They didn't understand why Jamal had chosen to study to become a bakery chef, or why he wanted to stay in their small town and bake bread. Jamal, why don't you go to business school like everyone else? You need a highly ranked degree if you're going to make it, one of his friends told him one evening. Another added, and you will need a fancy logo, a website, and a huge loan to start. That's just how it works these days. Jamal listened politely, but didn't say much. Inside though, he felt torn. Maybe they were right. Maybe he wasn't thinking big enough. Everyone else seems to have a clear path. Why didn't he? A week later, Jamal went to talk to Mr. Owens, a retired baker in town. Mr. Owens had run the local bakery for over 40 years before retiring. His shop wasn't flashy, but everyone remembered it fondly. It was a place where birthdays were celebrated and bad days were made better with a slice of pie. Mr. Owens, I have been thinking about starting a bakery, Jamal said nervously. But I am not sure I am doing it the right way. My friend said I need to do what's working for others. Starting with big advertisements, online sales, that sort of things. They even expressed their dissatisfaction with the bakery course I studied in university. I am not sure I can pull it off. Mr. Owens smiled and leaned back in his chair. Let me tell you a story, Jamal, he said. You know the story of David and Goliath, right? Jamal nodded. David killed Goliath with a sling instead of using Saul's hammer. Exactly, Mr. Owens said. David didn't win because he tried to fight like Saul or anyone else. He won because he used what he knew best. That sling was something he had practiced with his whole life. Saul's hammer would have weighed him down. Mr. Owens continued. When I opened my bakery, I didn't have a fancy degree or a big budget. What I did have was my grandmother's pie recipe and a love for the people in this town. I focused on making simple, good food and treating my customers like family. That's what works for me. Now, I am not saying you shouldn't learn new things or plan wisely. But don't ignore what's already in your hands, Jamal. That's your sling. Jamal thought about the conversation for days. He realized he didn't need to copy what others were doing. His strength was in the things he already knew and loved. his grandmother's recipes, his creative twist on traditional flavors, and his connection to the community. So he got to work. He started small, baking in his grandmother's kitchen and selling at the weekend market with a touch of professionalism. He didn't have a logo or website, but his bread and pastry quickly became a hit. People loved the personal touch he brought to every batch. Over time, through Jamal's passions, dedication, sacrifices, and professionalism, he earned contracts with big companies in the town and even nearby cities. His bakery grew. He opened a shop in the town square, decorated simply but warmly. His customers weren't just buying bread, they were supporting someone who cared about the town as much as they did. Eventually, he learned about marketing and business strategies, but only when he was ready and in ways that fit his visions. Jamal's dreams of impacting youth and older adults became a reality. He established his own bakery apprenticeship academy, where he taught people and influenced them positively. Jamal never forgot Mr. Owen's words: "Don't ignore what's already in your hands." Just like David's sling, Jamal's unique strengths were exactly what he needed to succeed, and he didn't have to compare his journey to anyone else's. The lesson: your path doesn't have to look like anyone else's. What works for others might not work for you, and that's okay. Trust the gifts you have been given and use them in your own way, like Jamal. You might find that what's already in your hand is more than enough. Man, know thyself.